Aunt, can you wait for me while I will go and say a few words to him? She nodded. Hurry up, okay? I reckon that they will be back soon. You nodded understanding and walked towards Chung Han. He blinked. What's wrong? He gave you puzzled look. You finished buying. Your expression is telling him that you have something to do with him. Do you think I am following you? That's why you came here to stop. Isn't it that? You just looked at him with serious face. He's a very understanding person and know what kind of expression people will give, and you didn't even talk about it. And he guessed it. Don't worry, I will not bother you. Since it's not convenient for you, I'm just going to front to buy things, just like you guys. His words are very polite, so you didn't have intention to be bad about it, so you question him. What are you going to buy? He knows these things. He's not fool that you're ignoring him. You're asking this because you want to avoid me, isn't it? You just wanted to avoid him and change the way. If Jungkook saw him with you, then why you have to worry about these things? You couldn't understand yourself. It's your life and your choice, isn't it? The smile on his face was bitter. Didn't we make it clear that day? In the future, we will still be treating each other and not run. Am I that scary? You bite your lower lips, not knowing how to explain. Why? He took a deep breath and smiled helpless. I was going to take a detour earlier, but since you are worried about crossing the same way, then I think it's better for me to be with you, so that you can adjust your attitude avoiding me. I'm your client, after all. His eyes are looking at you firmly. Fine, I'm not a bad person. Not 5 years ago, not now. In the future either. If you want, I will also be your elder brother. No matter what your relationship with Jungkook now, I will never do anything that let you down. He is gentle, you have seen him, and it's not lie. If you say that you will not touch, however, to you, regardless of whether Chung Han would do something that let you down or not. As long as Jungkook saw you standing with him, then it could be a form of harm. You pursed your lips and said helplessly, do you have to follow me like this? You said that it was a coincidence, but 2 times, how could everything be coincidence? Wasn't you doing on purpose? His expression changed into serious. Why? So you think I'm following you? If you came here every day, you should meet me here because I live next to your neighborhood. You are stunned. You? What did you say? Isn't it a little hard to believe? If you don't believe me, then you can find someone to investigate. I moved here before you in the supermarket. Many employees know me well. If I tell you this, do you still think that I intentionally approached you? Your expression was straight, like you don't know how to react at this time. I admitted that I don't want to contact you, that I meant no harm to you. Alright, stop talking. You interrupted, lowering your eyes. I misunderstood you. I still have to buy things. I gotta go. You quickly left from there. Aunt looked at you coming towards her, settled. You didn't answer and pushed the shopping cart, walking forward. Aunt quickly followed you. Hey, did you guys have some unpleasant conversation? No, you shook your head. He just said that he didn't follow us. It just happened to be the same path. Aunt suddenly understand. Oh, so that's how it is. But looking at him, he does he know that you have a husband? You stop to look at a person beside you. This curious aunt, do you really want to know? Aunt nodded curiously, smiling. We are neighbors. You thought about it. You had been talking with her. It seems there is nothing wrong to deny it. Actually, he's not my husband. Oh, she nodded, like understanding, but then she stopped and widened her eyes. You just said that he's not your husband. Maybe she just had big reaction on it that she controlled herself and smiled. Oh, I see. Then you guys are lovers. Not really. You shook your head. She was stunned. Then what's you guys' relationship now? I see that he treats you well. Maybe you just wanted someone's company and feel so close that you share this. But when you think that about the relation between you and Jungkook, it seems you are having some kind of affair with him without any name of bond. So you didn't expose further since you live in society. He's my ex-husband. Well, Aunt got so many information and she took long to understand what you are saying. You force a smile. Isn't it quite funny? We are no longer in relationship, yet he's still imprisoning me like this. You lowered your eyes. It's hard to tell truth to the world that even the man is harmful to you. You still felt safe around him. It's easy to deal with ex-husband. What? You didn't understand what she meant. Maybe he's pursuing you to get back with you. You shrugged your shoulders like you don't know about it. Yes, you did know, didn't he do all those things to get back with you? Why are you so unconfident? If I were as pretty as you, then I will give other chance. For example, the one behind, like he's your ex-husband for a reason. The behind, think two handsome men chasing after you. Actually, you have option to choose. You are pretty. Anyway, there is plenty of opportunities. Slow choose and slowly test them. I think your ex-husband is not that bad. From his look, I can tell that he's someone who has accomplished something. However, it's not too good for a man to be cold. If he is still cold at best and make you take the initiative to have, then it's hard to match up. Your expression changed. Can we not talk about it? What's wrong talking about it? We are elders. I'm suddenly curious about your divorce with such a handsome man. It's because he's too cold. Is John Jungkook cold in bed? Well, back then, when everyone thought that he is wheelchair bound and can't do it, only his wife knew that he's capable to do it. This man's eyes and face could deceive others, but for you, he's obviously passionate and aggressive. He is abandoned, right? But there is not to worry about it. I will recommend you my friend's hospital. You need some therapy and medical care. His frown deepened. What he need for checks up? His body is fine and the mental health too. Did you say something to her? If you want to chase after your ex-wife, then make her happy. Don't let her down in any way. Ex-wife, his need in this life, that woman is his. How came someone put a tag of ex? Jungkook didn't know what's wrong going on during these days. He's spending most of his time with you and laying on same bed, but he felt distance and both thoughts were different. He knew that he hurt this woman, but now he's trying his best to make up for you and he hoped you to see his true feelings, but it was if all his efforts were useless, there is even negative effects. Sometimes he didn't know what to do, thinking about you didn't love him, make his heart suffocated. His gaze followed you when the uncle and aunt give him advice how to treat his wife. You were busy taking out things from shelves, looking so pretty and beautiful in his eyes. Indeed, this woman was not ordinary. If you said that you were single, then there would be many suitors for you, but only your trashy ex-husband didn't have good taste. When Jungkook was cursing to your ex-husband, he doesn't realize that he's also treated like ex. If you want to get back with her, then you have to show your willpower. Take care of your body, you will be good soon. Aunt even suggested him to give number of doctor. Jungkook roughly understands something and looked at your direction. with his dark eyes, and the lips rose up. What did she say? Aunt was annoyed by his attitude. She said that you guys divorced because of your coldness. He smirked and glanced at pair of couples. I am a normal man, so no need for your advice, thank you. But Aunt only became satisfied after exchanging number. After that, Jungkook left them behind and went towards you. You're taking things with great difficulty because you didn't wear heels today. You tiptoe to take things from top of shelves. You came from back and support your toes, then take the things. You want to buy this? His voice came from the top of your head. You nodded, yes. He looked at your back of head and the exposed wide neck. There is still some traces of his marks, and you still sad that he's not capable. He smirked. What did you just sad with Aunt just now? Your heart skipped a beat. You saw Aunt mumbling something with him, but since you were embarrassed, you walked away. You didn't expect her to reveal the content of conversation. Nothing. We didn't talk much. He came near you. Really, you couldn't look into his face, and he felt that you were nervous. You bit your lower lips. You couldn't talk with such a straightforward person who can't even hide the things between. Sometime later, you went to the cashier to pay the bill. Jungkook also follow you. He felt like that. He shouldn't make you feel cold next time. All the things counted and Jungkook handed his black card, but before him someone extended his hand and handed a card while you were busy taking out money to pay. Cashier looked at three-person in confusion. When you took the money, there is already two cards in front of you. Jungkook's pupil shrank when he noticed this man who was smiling faintly. Jungkook, long time no see. You looked towards Jonghan. Why he is still here? Love rivals. Surrounding people observed the scene. Two men by one woman's side having some kind of battle. To the people, it smelled gossips like the situation. At this point, Jungkook's snotty expression gone totally, and his eyes turned cold, pulling you closer to him and put his card in your hand. Be good and pay the bills. We will go home. Jungkook acted as if he didn't saw Jonghan at all. Jonghan's pupils shrank and he fisted his hand, almost squeezing his own card on his palm. You didn't even greet Hyung when you met. Hyung, do you deserve it? It's been long, and the way two men get along also long gone. So when both met, it seems like one have grudges towards another. You knew that both of them were not in good terms, but you didn't expect them to fallen out. And Jungkook even humiliated Junghan in front of many people. Even though Junghan smiled lightly, are you still blaming me for that? That wasn't big. Be brother's original intention. Jungkook snailed, noticing Junghan's gaze on you, his grip on your wrist tightened. It's not your original intention, then you are forced. People around also feel the domineering aura around Jungkook and the possessiveness for this woman, and the force he used to hold your hand was great than other time in the past. From the moment Junghan appeared in front of Jungkook, you felt some kind of emotion. It was fear. But you thought you felt wrong because the man's arrogance was all over, and you couldn't thought that anyone's company have his ability to top Jones yet. So where was he afraid? Jungkook, I unfortunately, before Junghan could speak, after the cashier put things on bag and returned the card, he grabbed your hand with his right hand while the left carried the bag and pulled you with him. You had walked behind him and looked at his back of head. The light in your eyes dimmed, but you didn't resist and let him pull you away. People followed the couple until it disappeared from their sight. He really looked like a husband who brought his wife to the supermarket for shopping. Along the way, you obediently follow his steps, but the way he walking was making you breathe heavier. So you shake his hand. Can you walk slower? He stopped and looked back. Only then he realized what he had done. You were painting. Are you tired? What do you think? You glared at him. You put hands around waist and took some fresh air. He looked around to find any places that can sit, but since it's not convenient, he bent down facing his back to you. Come up. What? You were surprised. He wanted to give you piggy right, but you felt that you guys are already old to do these things. It only suit for young people. What are you dawdling for? He saw you standing there in a daze, so he reached out to pull you onto his back. Your whole body was laid onto his back and his support. You, with one hand while the other carries shopping bag, when he felt that you were not grabbing him, he warned, if you don't want to fall, hold me tightly. You almost reflexively reached out to hug his neck. The corner of his lips curled up in satisfaction. One hand firmly supported your butt as you hugged his arms tightly. The residential area and the mall was not that far, but because he is also carrying a bag, you felt he's under pressure. How about you put me down? He laughed. Who's tired just now? You saw the veins on his neck, although he didn't pant. You felt he's tired, so you tried to adjust yourself and make yourself lighter. Your body twisted and your lips also brushed on his neck. The hot breath you took was spat on his skin. His heart beat faster and he roared slowly. Are you moving for? You stopped moving. His voice was hoarse and deep. You bite your lower lips. I just feel that it's not comfortable for you to carry me on your back. He giggled softly. What do you think? You are heavy. Why you bother to think for him? He had a lot of physical strength anyway, so you put your chin on his shoulder and close your eyes. Since it's early evening, there is wrestling on the way, and people will look often, but who cares? It's not like people have something to do with you or him. He carried you till the elevator and put you down. Today, you he opened his mouth after long. Hmm? You asked him in puzzlement. Nothing. He didn't say anything, and you didn't bother to ask again. After arriving at the floor, you followed him quietly outside the elevator. You heard him press the code on the floor. You looked at him in surprise, eyes becoming a little bigger than usual. You you know the passcode? It wasn't his intention, but he accidentally seen it. For the person who have photography memory, one time is enough. So he remembered it. He didn't reply, and you became furious. How could you do that? Do you know how to give space? He walked in, and you followed him, nagging or complaining. His expression was straight when he put bag on the cabinet. After that, he turned around to the woman who was not satisfied by his action. He grabbed your hands, coming closer. What are you doing? You walked backwards. You told Aunt today that I'm very cold and having different expression while doing it. Your back hit the wall. You wanted to move, but he leaned forward and raised your heads above, locking with his one hand to your both and free hand in circle around your waist. I didn't. You deny. You didn't expect Aunt to reveal the conversation that belongs to women. When did you said it that he's indifferent? Isn't it Aunt's imagination? You sure? He leaned over to whisper on your ear with his deep voice. Do you want me to make you feel warm? Hmm?